Eve, I think it's safe to say people are reacting regionally. Regions are doing more or less well depending on the local situation. I'm just going to give you a little press review so you can see what's going on. This is a Süddeutsche Zeitung published in Bavaria in Munich, and it says North Rhine-Westphalia pulls the emergency brake. That's, of course, where the slaughterhouse is located. And the Bavarian regional president wants to ban people coming from the region to Bavaria. Then we have the Frankfurter Allgemeine Zeitung, which says Ermin Laschet, who is the regional governor of North Rhine-Westphalia, pulls the emergency brake. But then again, he had no choice, says the newspaper, because early in the coronavirus crisis, he was seen as somewhat laxist compared to Bavaria, saying, we don't need to lock everything down right away. And just finally, where I am, Berlin, the Tagesspiegel, saying lockdown in Gütersloh, where the slaughterhouse is located, and loosening in Berlin. So basically you've got different regions reacting differently, and this is significant because some of the regional leaders are saying we don't want people who are in this lockdown area coming to visit us. Others, such as in Berlin, saying you're welcome to come. Still others saying we need a federal policy. And on that note, later today, the health ministers from the 16 German Länder are going to have a virtual conference and try to decide on some kind of common measure on whether or not the people in this particular region should be allowed to travel. Should they go into quarantine? Do they need some kind of special visa? And what kind of national rule there should be if there are more outbreaks like this in the future.
Meanwhile, Nick, it's not the first time we've seen an outbreak at a German abattoir, bringing a lot of questions over the working conditions in meat factories.
Absolutely. And I think the head of the Medical Research Institute here, the Robert Koch Institute, said this is really a poverty problem, just to get to the bottom of things, because the workers come in large part from Romania and Bulgaria. They're housed in cramped quarters. They're bussed together in minibuses, again, cramped quarters, and they work in slaughterhouses. The science on that is not really fixed yet, but it's a humid condition. People work closely together, and it's thought that that might be a great place for the virus to propagate. Now, there's 6,500 employees at this particular factory. 1,550 tested positive, and we now know that some of them went back home to Bulgaria infected. So there's a concern there. The bottom line here is that Germans like to buy cheap meat, and the way that the meat factory owners get cheap meat is with cheap labor. So there are a lot of question marks about whether or not these guest workers should be used to produce such meat, and whether perhaps it would be better to pay them more, have them, perhaps hire local, and not take such health risks. Certainly, coronavirus has made it clear that the method of meat production in Germany entails risks that nobody has really thought of before.
Okay, Nick, well, we'll be no doubt checking in with you later on in the day as the health authorities in those various Länder meet up to see what they've decided. But for now, thanks indeed. Nick Spicer there, our correspondent in Germany.